make you nervous?
You're an escaped convict, trained by mob accountants. Your clients are drug cartels, money launderers.
Is that a yes?
Ray King has been murdered. Do you like puzzles, Mr. Wolf?
This week on Talking About the Movies, the sequel that somebody out there was asking for gets made after nearly 10 years. Ben Affleck returns as the autistic accountant Christian Wolf, and his brother John Baratheon joins along for the ride in the sequel that, like I said, somebody was asking for, The Accountant 2. And welcome to Talking About the Movies, where our celebration of 20 years of covering the biggest new releases of the weekend continues. And we are in the weekend before the summer movie season gets started, the penultimate weekend. The blockbusters are just a few weeks away, but then again, some of them are sneaking their way into the latter half of the month of April. And the big movie we have this week is, I guess, considered a blockbuster. I would probably see it as a sequel that is completely unnecessary, but then again, I'm not making the decisions at MGM and Warner Brothers who are putting this out, so let's go ahead and talk about the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is Ben Affleck and John Baratheon starring in the sequel that somebody was asking for, The Accountant 2. So The Accountant 2 is the film where you have the story centering around Ben Affleck, who played Christian Wolf, the accountant in the first movie, who was an autistic accountant and launders money for some of the world's most dangerous criminals. And in this movie, when the Finchen, a Department of Treasury Director Raymond King, is killed by unknown assassins and finds the accountant is discovered on his arm during an autopsy, Treasury agent Mary Beth Medina, played by Cynthia Ade Robinson, is forced to contact Christian Wolf, played by Ben Affleck, the accountant, to solve Raymond's murder. With the help of his estranged but highly lethal brother Brax, once again played by John Baratheon, Christian applies his brilliant mind and less-than-legal methods to piece together the unsolved puzzle. As they get closer to the truth, the trio draw the attention of some of the most ruthless killers alive, all intent on putting a stop to their search. So you may have seen the trailers, and I think most people kind of... I thought maybe that most people would be like me, like, what the hell is going on here, and how is this the same movie as the last film? Because the first Accountant movie didn't really sell itself like they're selling The Accountant 2. They're selling The Accountant 2 like it's an action, like it's a buddy action comedy, and that wasn't the first film at all. They didn't sell the first film like that at all in particular, and I should get my thoughts on the first film in general out here, because when I saw it, yeah, I had pretty much the same thoughts I have now. It wasn't that great of a movie. It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a good movie either. I thought the plot of it was really stupid overall. I mean, it's a plot that makes no sense. The script overall was not that great either. This is Bill Dubosc, who has done some pretty good movies that I have actually kind of enjoyed. I know he did The Judge. He did A Family Man. He also did, wait, which one was The Family Man? I'm thinking of the Nicolas Cage one. He didn't do that one, but he did The Judge. He did Ozark. He was the creator of that show, and I saw a couple of episodes of that show. I thought that was pretty good, but he has done stuff that I have liked, and Gavin O'Connor is a very solid director too. He's done a lot of things I've liked of his. You know, The Way Back. You know, this is the guy that did Miracle. He did Tumbleweeds. He did Warrior. So these are not hacks who are making this movie. These are people who, I mean, these are people who have made good stuff over the years, but this is a film that just didn't work at all, and I thought this film really struggled to get through predictable cliches one after another. At least in the first film it did. A storyline that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and a twist ending that was just kind of like, what the hell was that? But what kind of held it together was the cast. I thought the cast overall was pretty good, and Gavin O'Connor did a pretty good job with the direction overall. And I mean, there was more about the movie I like, but I just never really had the real intention of going back and watching it again. It's not a bad movie, but it's not a good one either. And a lot of that, I think, can also apply to The Accountant 2. Except the fact I kind of don't like it more. I kind of don't like it. I like it less than the original Accountant, is what I'm trying to say. And to me, kind of like with the first movie, it has a lot of the same problems. It has the script overall is a real mess. Like, it's a messy script overall. And it's just like, I don't think they really thought about what they wanted to do with the storyline here. I mean, and like what they want to do with this, because, I mean, the script is all over the place. The story makes no sense. I mean, it literally feels like you're watching the first movie over again. But everyone keeps saying that the one thing that holds it together is the cast, Ben Affleck and John Baratheon, who are great in this movie as brothers. And I mean, I can't really say that. I can't really say I disagree with them. I think they both are really good, but these are two seasoned actors who know exactly what they're doing, and they had good chemistry in the first movie. And what they do here is perfectly fine. I think it's a very solid. They're very solid overall. But when I got out of the movie, I just felt like I really didn't feel anything. I just felt kind of empty walking out of it. It's just like, I mean, there's stuff in it I like, but at the same time, I felt the same way I did when I walked out of the first movie. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really love it either. It's just kind of in the middle. Except with this one, I felt less than that because I really didn't feel like they really thought this through. I think they realized that the first film was an unexpected success. They knew that they had something good here. And MGM, they're trying to rebrand themselves as a major studio, so they figure, we can sell this as a franchise. Surely this will sell to people. But the problem is, you didn't set the first movie up that well either. I don't think the first movie was really set that well in general in terms of its story. And I think a lot of the problems that this first movie had are in this film in general. And again, the cast somewhat saves it in this one, but even then, it's never to the point where I can say it makes the movie worthwhile in the end. I really did come out of this movie feeling let down by it, because I really thought there's something there, but there's just not a good script to really get the full effect out here. Ben Affleck and John Baratheon, I thought, were the best parts of the movie. Don't get me wrong; they are great in the film. Their chemistry together, in particular, that buddy cop comedy action concept, that could work in another movie not called The Accountant. I feel like if this was another film not named The Accountant, not based off of another movie of the same name, I really felt like there could have been something here. They could have made something really good here. I want to see these two in a real action comedy. Like, put them in a buddy cop comedy in the vein of something like A Lethal Weapon or 48 Hours or Bad Boys. Like, do something with that. Here, I just really feel like they just really had no idea how to do this. I feel like this was a more cluttered mess than the more I think about it, I think it is more of a cluttered mess than the first movie is. The first movie at least had somewhat of an identity to it in terms of what they're trying to do, but here, I really can't tell what they're trying to do here. Like, what is supposed to be the end result? It's like, what am I supposed to take away from the storyline in general? I don't think they're really getting the full context of full possibilities of what they could do here. I think it's a cool idea to have somebody to have a main character who is an autistic person as the focal point of this. I mean, I'll take these movies over something like Mercury Rising, or that terrible Richard Dreyfuss movie. I think it was what was it, Silent Fall from the 90s, where they tried to use an autistic boy as the main crux of the storyline here, and it just came out really feeling like they were really being offensive to autistic people in general. At least that was my thinking behind it. But yeah, it's like this movie definitely does it better than those movies did. But even then, it really isn't enough to save the film in general. And it's a shame, because there is stuff in here I do like. I think a lot of the same stuff that I liked from the first film are still in here. I think the casting overall is good, is enough to I don't think it's enough to really save the film in general. Gavin O'Connor doing a decent job as the director here. They got the same cinematographer. Is it the same composer as the last film? No, it's a different one. Mark Isam did the score for the original film. This time it's Bryce Dessner. And I mean, I think the biggest problem overall is the script and the fact that they really didn't fit. There really wasn't a need to make this movie. It feels like a really pointless sequel. And again, Ben Affleck and John Baratheon, I thought these characters could work in their very own movie, but to have another movie here and really just kind of make it even more confusing than the first film was, and make a script that even makes even less sense, I think that was the biggest downfall towards the film. So, my overall final thoughts on it is, it's not a bad movie, but it's just a movie that I didn't feel like needed to be made. I feel like you could put Ben Affleck and John Baratheon and pretty much everybody in this cast in a much better movie, and just, do something else with, just not name The Accountant. Just another movie that's not a sequel. Put these guys in another movie that would work, an original movie, and just, I don't know. I'm really flabbergasted on how I feel about this film, but overall, I don't like it as much as everybody else did. I don't think it's a bad movie either, so in terms of my overall final review, I want to give it a kind of a mixed review, but more leaning towards maybe going down on it. So right now, I'll just say, it's alright but it's nothing I'm never going to watch again. I mean, I really don't want to see another one of these movies, but I may be the only one who's alone on that, unfortunately. But that's just my feelings on The Accountant 2. And I could be serious. I could be one of those people that's not with the norm on this. I could be the guy that's just like, I'm the odd man out here, and I'm probably missing something that most other people are seeing with this movie. But that's just my personal feelings on it. Let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think of The Accountant 2? And of course, like I said before, the summer movie season kicks off next week with Thunderbolts, the newest Marvel Studios film. The early word of mouth from screenings that happened before, from the premiere, have been okay. They're basically what they usually are. Early word of mouth people are coming out of the movie going like, "This movie is amazing. This is one of the best MCU movies." Then the reviews come out, and then it's kind of like a roller coaster. That positive word of mouth slowly but surely starts to go down. Speaking of movies that have really confusing marketing, I think Thunderbolts is definitely one of those movies that has no idea what they're trying to sell the movie on. I think that could hurt the film in the long run, but we find out together next week when the movie comes out. We'll see if it actually works in the film's favor or doesn't. So definitely be on the lookout for that next time around. But if you want to hear what I had to say about Sinners last week, go ahead and hit the playlist. Go ahead and check out the previous episode as well as hit our playlist to see some of the older reviews I've done. And if you like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button, the subscribe button, the notification button, and the bell so you get updates on when new videos come out. We do post new videos on this channel every day. So thank you so much for joining me on this, and let me know your thoughts down below on The Accountant 2. So with all that said, I'm off. I'll see you next week, and until then, take care.